Welcome to Earth and Owl. I'm Nikki, and today I'm bringing you what I'm calling the Foundational 15. 15 moves that I think are really common and found in most rebounding workouts. We're going to spend around 90 seconds on each move, which I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but in the world of rebounding, it's harder than it looks. So don't be alarmed if you're only able to do the first few moves and then you need to rest. You can divide this workout into segments. You can do the first half today and the second half tomorrow, or whatever works best for you. I always like to say this is a marathon, not a sprint. So start slow, start with that proper form, which we're going to go over here really quick, and then you will be on your way to a successful and sustainable rebounding program. All right, let's get going with this. Now, I do have music I'm going to turn on, but before we get to that, let's just really quickly go over form. I do have an entire playlist of getting started videos with FAQs, form tutorials, do's and don'ts, and that sort of thing. But for today, let's go ahead and quickly go over our form. We want a stance with feet about hip width distance apart. We want equal weight distribution in our feet. So from the toes to the heels, from the outside edge to the inside edge, equal weight distribution. Knees are bent. We have this slight hinge at the waist. Depending on the move, you might have a little more hinge or a little less. Your seat is going to go back as you hinge. So we're in this athletic ready position right here. Chest is lifted, core is engaged. That's probably the most important aspect besides the equal weight distribution is keeping your core engaged. Navel drawing back to spine. Here's a little tip if you're not sure how to do it. Take a deep breath in. Push all your air out. Feel your tummy tighten up. Try to maintain that. All right, so we're in this athletic ready position, and I just want you to push down gently with your feet. Push into the mat. Don't worry about getting airborne. This is our basic momentum health bounce. We're going to start here. This is move number 1, and I'm going to show you some options and ways to intensify this, but let me get the music going. All right, timer on, 90 seconds. We are health bouncing. Now you can find the beat, the rhythm of the song, and try to go with that. But if you're new, don't worry too much about it. Think about your form here, and I'm turning to the side a little bit just so you can get that visual. All right, now if this is feeling good and you want a little more, you could make this a calf raise, lift your heels. It's gonna activate your calf muscle. You might feel a little fire, a little burning. Push down, not bounce high. Core engaged. We've got about 15 seconds left. If you want even more intensity, flat feet, lifting off just a little. Again, I am not bouncing high. I'm lifting my knees and pushing down. All right, take a break. That was move 1, shake it out. We've got our next move. Feet hip width distance. We're gonna do a little double rock, shifting our weight from side to side. Looks like this. Rock, rock. You can see I'm alternately bending my knees, pushing my heels. This is a great way to practice shifting your weight from one foot to the other. All right, 8 more. We're going to take this to a single time rock in 4. Single time. Now, rocking carries through lots of movements on the rebounder. It gets into kicks, a move called rocking horse. So it's a great move to practice. All right, we're already done with the rock. Shake it out, new song. Similar to the rock, we've got a jog. I'm going to show you a couple variations of this. Let's just start with your basic jog. Now I am just barely lifting my feet off the surface. If you have knee trouble, I'm actually gonna lower the intensity here and do something called a tiptoe, keeping the toes connected, like so. It's much like the rock. Feet are a little closer together, like I'm power walking down the street. Some people struggle with this though, so if you need to lift your feet, that's fine. I can't help that I miss you now. As you progress, you might lift your knees a little higher. We get into the high knees. We got about 15 seconds here. I can't help that I miss you now. Pick your variation. All right, give it a little rest here, take a breath. Moving on. Heel digs, we're gonna go to the front. In 4, 3, 2, right here. Heel, heel. Now you might just start with your hands together, get the legs down. You have to completely transition your weight here. Now, I like to add in a punch to these, kind of an opposite arm. Take some coordination. I can't help that I miss you now. I've got a little more hinge at the waist on this one. As I mentioned in the beginning, sometimes you have to adjust how much you hinge. If it's a move where I really want to move fast, like a side to side, more hinge. Now I'm going to take these heels out to the corner, and I'm going to take it to a jack arm. This is called a modified jack right here. Already done with the heel digs. Okay, in and out. We're gonna take it to a march. In and out. Here's your most foundational, lowest intensity variation of an in and out. We're gonna very quickly move on from this though. 8 more of these. Double in, double out in 4. Right here. Now I'm getting the legs set. Keeping that athletic ready stance. I'm not worrying about the arms. Song change. Eight more. I'm taking this to a single time in 4. Now we've got your basic jumping jack. In and out. Let's review our form. Equal weight distribution in our feet. Knees bent. Slight hinge at the waist. Core engaged. Gaze up. We're not staring down at the rebounder. You can look down occasionally. Five seconds. And rest. Shake it out. Moving on. Instep. Feet are a little bit wider for this one. You're going to turn your heel in, like so. and I'm gonna punch. Now again, don't worry if you're not moving as fast as me. I've been doing this for a while. But I promise you, I've seen people of all ages, body types, fitness abilities, keep rhythm and tempo. You can go back to my channel and view participants with a wide range of abilities. All right, now I'm going to show an intensified variation, picking up the foot. I really have to use my core here. As my foot comes off that rebounder, I feel that tightening. This does take some hip mobility, flexibility, so it's totally fine to keep it right here. All right, rest, moving on. All right, calf raise. So this is working us into a knee crunch. Starting with a calf, lift, lift. Pointing my toes, lifting my heels, feeling the contraction of my calf muscle, adding a pull. Forget anyway, yeah, yeah. No, nothing's gonna make me forget. We've got a song change, then we're gonna make it a knee. 3, 2, knee up right here. Again, so much core. Don't use your low back. Engage. "20 seconds. Stick with that calf raise or come back to it if you need to modify. And we rest. Shake it out. Deep breath. Moving on. Feet nice and wide here. Torso continues to stay facing the front. We are popping our hips side to side. Again, broken record here, but so much core. Now you can see my heels are kicking to that 12 o'clock position on the rebounder. This twist in particular is more about the hips, the rotation of the thighs. We're gonna try a couple of twists that involve your obliques. So we're gonna bring the feet a little closer. This is where our core and our obliques really get involved. I am rotating from the waist. So the wide twist, you can keep feet connected to the mat. When you bring it narrow, you're lifting away ever so slightly. All right, relax, rest, deep breath. Another twist variation is called a hip twist. So we're gonna start with the modified version, kind of towards the back of your rebounder, tapping your feet to the front, 12 o'clock. So when I call this a hip twist, it's because I'm shifting my hip to that 12 o'clock position.
I'll take you anywhere, just tell me I'll be there. We don't need a plan, I like it unprepared. Whatever comes our way, we'll stay there for the day.
All right, now Think of your rebounder as a clock. We've got 12 o'clock here, 3 and 9. We're gonna learn the airborne variation, the more intense variation of this. Take your feet to 3 and 9 right here. Transition 12 and 6. 3 and 9, 12 and 6. 3 and 9, a little faster. We're here 20 seconds.
Find what I'm seeking, leave my troubles behind, scars from another time.
And we rest. Good, shake it out. Next move is a kick. Kicks are probably my favorite. Any kick can be modified to a tap. So we're gonna start with front kicks. So your modification for that, tap. Just kind of pointing my toes. Think about where we're headed. We're gonna be lifting one foot. Core. All right, in 4. Make it a kick. Keep that slight bend in your knees, don't lock them. You can keep it really low. I have flexible hamstrings, so I'm able to get my kicks a little higher. Speaking of flexibility, important to stretch. Now, I like this variation of kick because we come back to this nice, sturdy, stable, balanced, feet hip width distance apart position between each kick. It's fast, but we're there. Sometimes you'll see really fast kicks. Okay, it's hard to control these. So this is more of an advanced move. 5 seconds. Rest. So you saw lots of kick variations there that you can try. Moving on, switches. All right, we've got to shuffle our feet from back to front. We're going to start with some doubles. Here we go.
Can it just be us tonight under the night sky?
We got to really pick ourselves up, right? Get those feet transitioned. Look how bent my knees are staying. Check out the hinge in my waist. Keeping it low. Makes our legs work harder. 8 more. We're going single time. And 4. Here we go. "25 seconds. You can always make these a tap if you're struggling. Tap, tap.
Secrets I keep, let the world just fade away. You're all I need. Can it just be us tonight? No one can see.
All right, rest. Whew. I'm breathing hard. Okay, moving on. We have kickbacks. We're gonna start with a tap. Little more towards the front edge, not all the way, about, I don't know, 2/3 of the way forward. Tap. This really requires kind of a lean. I'm gonna call it a lean forward. Tap, tap. Again, the key here, keeping it low. Knees bent. A lot of people stand too tall when they first start, and it makes the movements awkward. But we gotta build that quad strength, right? Once you get it, feel the beat. All right, I'm gonna make this what I call a kickback, glute kick, booty kick, whatever you wanna call it. Lots of different arms we can do here. Tricep kickback, pull. See what feels comfortable. I am joint stacking here, getting my weight over knees and ankles. 4, 3, 2, down bounce hold right here. Good. Moving on already. Side kick. With side kicks, I think of them more as a hip extension. So our feet are nice and wide. We're in a horse stance. Catching my beat. In 4. Here we go.
I kinda adore you, but don't get too proud. You're like my favorite snack, I won't say it out loud. I won't say you're perfect, we all know you're not. But hey, you're the best kind of way that I got. Your songs are in my head,
So you're gonna feel this in your hips. We're strengthening our hips. Make it a tap if you need to. When you're ready, come on back. Now, just like those front kicks we practiced a few moves ago, you can do this pretty fast. This is way advanced. You need a lot of body control. And you gotta keep those knees bent. You don't wanna hyperextend. I know I'm throwing lots of information at you here. So digest this workout in pieces if you need to. Watch and rewatch. All right, rest. Shake it out. Couple moves to go. I think of this as a gallop. So when you gallop, you're shifting your feet, kind of 1, 2, 1, 2. Galloping side to side. This is called a pony, and specifically this is a double. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hinged at the waist here, big time. We're gonna keep it a double. Singles are really tough. They're pretty advanced, they take a lot of control. I'll demonstrate right quick, but don't worry if you aren't here. Back to the double, gallop, trot, side to side. Now we can also make this just a step, like so, step. That might be a better place even for you to start. Four, 3. All right, rest right here. Okay, there's other side to side moves, lots of different variations, but we're giving you a sample, a taste. Same thing with the front to back. We're gonna trot, hop, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now you're gonna have a leg that feels more natural to lead with. Try switching it back and forth. Now just like the side to sides that we were practicing, you could take this down a little and just march. Okay, here's an option. Or trot. Now, we're gonna try the double leg hop right here, 2 feet, up and back, up and back. Knees bent, equal weight distribution in your feet. My feet goes back. 8 more. Finally, single time is coming up. All right, here we go. Rest. That was our foundational 15. I showed you lots of low intensity variations, middle intensity, and even some high intensity variations. So you can see that progression. Don't worry if you gotta stay here for a few months. Don't worry if you gotta stay here and only do a minute or two at a time. You'll get here, time and consistency. All right, let's do a little bit of a cool down. Deep breath. Now, when we warm up and cool down, which by the way, there's an entire playlist on my channel of warm-ups and cool downs there on the channel homepage, we want to move our spine in all directions. So let's start with a twist. Just let your arms float around your body. And now let's do a little side-to-side reach. No rush here. You can move with the breath. Go slowly if you like. All right, we had our twist. We had our side-to-side. We're going to get a forward fold in here. Step off your rebounder carefully. That's one common mistake people make, is kind of plopping off, and that can hurt your knees over time. So I'm going to come over to this side, use my rebounder, just forward fold down, reach for the rim, let my chin tuck down to my chest, equal weight distribution in the feet. Arms are relaxed. You can have a slight bend in your knees. Don't lock them out. They don't need to be locked. Take a few deep breaths. Now in this forward fold, one thing I love to do for calves, ankles, shins is to rock and pick up my toes and then rock and pick up my heels, kind of back and forth. You'll feel that stretch. Perfect. Coming to stillness, step the feet a little wider, making a bit of a 90-degree angle or an L shape with your body, and then we're going to rock from side to side, bending one knee and then the other. Get those inner thighs, hips, hamstrings. And then final move here, come to center. Keep your hips lined up with the ground. Reach one arm up into the air. Thoracic rotation. Deep breath in. Exhale, release, other side. Deep breath in and release. Step it together. Keep your core engaged. Bend your knees. Lift and rise with a strong core. And finally, to finish up, just a few neck rolls. Tip one ear over towards your shoulder, roll it down and over. All right, take a breath in, and as you exhale, chin to chest, gaze to neutral. That was a whole lot. So if you felt that was really, really challenging, I want you to go back to the 10-day beginner challenge series. Those are 3 to 4 minute videos, perfect for people who need something really slow to start, people who've had injury, illness, the elderly population, things of that nature. If you thought this was pretty good, you liked this, you might try to go to Beginners Week. That's 15-minute workouts that show you kind of a different type of workout each day for the week. So each of the 7 days has something a little different to it. You can also check out the Lymph Love series that features women of all body shapes, sizes. Many of them have chronic illness. And if this was super easy for you, I would suggest going on and trying the Rebounder walk workouts. Do not let the word walk fool you. They are a challenge. You will be sweating. And then once you've done a few of those, if you're feeling really good about it, you can move on and do some of the more intermediate to advanced stress relief, no talk workouts, bounce palooza. The sky's the limit. There's so much on my channel to explore. Reach out if you have any questions, and thanks so much for joining me for Foundational 15. See you next time.